Like somebody spat on them.
Don't spit it out. This is a true story, by the way.
No peeking, sir!
Hi guys and welcome. Oh, your arm made a debut. Oh wait, your arm's been in it before, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He just got his arm, like retouched up. Looks freaking
Sexy!
happy so far.
Yeah.
6 hours down, God knows how many more to go.
Probably only 3.
Probably only 3. So beautiful. Sorry, I didn't mean to touch it. I've been trying not to touch his arm for like the last day now. It's really difficult.
Spent too much time in the sun today. Bad.
We did go in the sun. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry about that. I was just having a little chinwag with you, like you're just a friend that's come around for a weird meal. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a Halloween video. This one doesn't know what's going on, so I'm just telling him now. We're doing a Halloween video. I have a spooky, kind of, not spooky, I have a scary story, and I'm gonna eat some weird foods, and we're gonna chat it out. So we have a really weird array of drinks, sweets, and savoury snacks. We have 2 types of Pocky. This one I think is nori, and this one is a weird little, you see that treat at the bottom? It's like a custard bun. Blue coloured Fanta, no idea what it is. I have a drink which has a cow on it, and it's got a really cute lid. It looks like a little cow, bull, what are they called? Horns.
Bull horns.
Bull horns. This really weird one that says Go Chili on it, and it's terrifying me. It looks like Coke, but it's definitely not Coke.
Might be iced tea.
Oh, that would be a nice treat. We have a peach drink, which is delicious. I've had this one before. I think that's the only thing we've both had. Yeah?
A couple of times.
Some weird little candies, don't know what they are. Got these crisps with a fish face on it. Don't know what they are.
Probably fish.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That doesn't sound great. Some chocolate gummy balls. Some little chocolate ball things with the angry monster on them. Cookies, which look like Korean cookies.
That's got a good weight to it.
Doesn't it? It's really hefty, so I feel like it's good quality. Got some more gummy sweets here, don't know what flavour they are. These flavoured gummy sweets, don't know what they are. Got some grape candies, pink crisps, and some turtle chips.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. You open this terrifying one, which I'm hoping has nothing to do with chili, because it says
Go Chili
on it.
Pretty sure. No, I think, no, it says go chill! Exclamation mark.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was an eye.
Oh, it's fizzy. It didn't look fizzy.
This doesn't look delicious. I'm going to open this amazing looking Fanta
Oh,
with a question mark on it.
no.
What do you mean no?
Smell it. Oh no. That's mouthwash.
That smells like dandelion and burdock, if you've ever had it in
That
the
smells
UK.
like Listerine. No, I was right.
Mouthwash?
Tastes like Listerine.
Oh gosh.
Not even kidding.
That tastes like dandelion and burdock. Oh, it's alright actually.
No, tastes like Listerine.
Should I be spitting it out after I've eaten it? Oh, that's the wrong lid.
Tastes like deep heat. What's the cream you got?
Yeah,
Tastes like deep heat.
Deep heat, the cream you put on when you hurt your back.
Mm.
What flavour
No.
is that meant to be?
Deep heat.
Are you sure that's not like a back cream and we're just drinking it?
No, definitely not.
Why are you looking at it like you're reading it? He's like moving his thumb along it like he reads like all these languages. This is a mystery flavour. I don't know what this is, but let's give it a try. Yes, yes, and yes again. This is the one I'm going to keep going back to throughout the video. He guessed blueberry, and it is kind of like a blueberry vibe. Raspberry, blue raspberry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can open the cow drink for me.
No, you know what that tastes like? It tastes like peach. It tastes like that. Just fizzy version.
Is it because it's blue that's just in my mind?
Look, he's got these peaches there.
Oh
See
my
it?
gosh, he's right. Look. Can you see that on there? It's got like little clues, I'm guessing, and a question mark. It's probably like, guess the flavour. You're right. You're so
It
much
tastes like
smarter than me. Thank God I have you. He's trying the milk.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. 100% something.
100% nope.
Oh no, it says here milk drink on the back, but it looks like water.
It looks like water. Goes down like water. Tastes like...
Nope.
It's like sparkling water, but...
I don't want it.
I don't know, I can't describe the flavour. Let me have another one.
This is the amazing peach drink, which we found. Oh gosh.
That's good. That's literally that blue Fanta one.
But
Just
not
without
fizzy.
the fizz.
Yeah, this is amazing. Okay, that's the best one.
Pretty much everyone in the house loves this drink now.
Yeah, I bought one and I bought one for his mum as well. And then she was like, oh my God. And then your
Yeah,
brother tried it
that's
and
good.
he loved it. I'm just going to try some of these pink something. Oh my God, it's literally pink. Same time?
Why's it got stuff all over it though?
Cheers. You hate it, don't you?
It's sweet and salty.
Oh, I don't like the aftertaste. Tastes a bit like yogurt.
No, the aftertaste is... tastes like a corn chip, which they are. But it's sweet.
I'm already going off it.
It's got like sweet powder. Like a, what's it?
Tastes a bit like rainbow drops at home. Do you have rainbow drops here?
Got strawberries on there. Look.
I didn't see that before. You're so observant. I'm oblivious to life. Can I try another one? Will I find my story?
Found out something new about me today. I like strawberry chips.
We're living and learning. I'm gonna put my phone here.
No peeking, sir.
I'm gonna start my story, and I'm also going to open this weird tiny candy. A woman called Helen. Is that where it starts? Oh yeah. This woman is called Helen. She's a lovely little lady. She gets married to a man. Unfortunately, the war happens. World War II. And her husband has to go off to war. They have a child together. Would you like one of these weird looking treats? Oh, that's positively weird.
Like prune.
It is like a prune. It's like a tiny wafer. Kind of
It's like
fruity.
cardboard chips.
It is a bit like, it reminds me of church. You know the Eucharist? Yeah. The body and bread of Christ, yeah. Not great.
I don't mind them.
Tastes healthy.
It's got a picture on there.
What is that though?
That's cherry, isn't
That's
it?
not a cherry.
Oh, it looks like a tomato.
Hawthorn, it just says on here. Nothing else.
Well, that's a tomato. That's tomatoes, isn't it?
Maybe it is.
They're on vine.
They're on vine.
They're on a vine.
You heard it here first, it's on vine. I don't know, they're weird. You're still eating them, huh?
I like them.
This is the video when he loves everything and I'm like,
I really
I need
eating like
some more
clicks of
drink.
them.
Yeah, you're gonna poop your pants in a minute. If it is anything like a brew.
Why is there so many of them?
There's like 12 packs here. There's your lunch for the next few weeks at
I
work.
just feel like it's a good ration. Good snack, you know?
I feel like, yeah, like it's a ration, you're right. It's not
Smoke
a
break.
treat. I'm gonna try these cookies now. So there's a woman called Helen. She's married to a man. They have a child together.
And World War II's just...
World War II's just breaking out.
Cookie.
Off he goes to war, and unfortunately, he gets killed in battle.
Don't know how I feel about that.
Really crumbly.
Tastes too processed for me.
I like it.
You can have that.
I like the chocolate chips in there. They're actually really good. It's really like a little tiny cute cookie. Husband goes to war and he dies in battle as a soldier. So Helen's left alone with a child.
The child, a boy or girl?
It's a girl.
Oh.
I think her name was Betty. I'm lying. Her name wasn't Betty. I'm just making it up. I feel like it began with a B, but I'm not going to guess it because it's a bit rude. Because it's someone's life. This is a true story, by the way. This is a true story. She was of the Lutheran faith, which are they're very religious people, and she was going to church, just to keep her faith while she was going through the trauma of losing her husband. She met a new man, and this man was named John. Good old John. They got talking, they got on really, really well. They hit it off. Problem was, John's mum wasn't too keen on Helen. John's mum was a very strict German woman, and she just didn't feel like they were a good fit. But John really loved Helen, and was like, look mum, I like her, we're gonna see how this goes. But then drama hit, and Helen tells John she was pregnant with John's baby. I'm gonna go onto one of these gummies. This is a little blueberry gummy thing. Oh, yeah, really good.
Oh yeah, anything gummies. Real good.
So, John's mum is the strict German lady who isn't too happy with his new girlfriend, Helen. And then Helen comes home one day and says, John, I'm pregnant. And she knew he was a religious man. So John obviously said the right thing to do is to get married. In some religions, it's sort of forbidden to have a child outside of wedlock. So John thought this, as he was very strict Lutheran. He was like, we're getting married, Helen. Let's do this. Let's make this baby. Let's have a life together. John's mum wasn't too impressed, but as long as he was getting married, she was like, fine.
You do you, John. You do you.
They got married. 2 weeks later, Helen admits she was never pregnant.
Oh, she made it up.
Helen made it up so she deliberately would lock him into a marriage so he couldn't leave her. She was that insecure. Helen's a liar, y'all. Big old liar. Helen had a fat mouth. So,
She's
yeah.
desperate.
She's very desperate. She didn't want to be alone. She just lost her last husband. Well, no, that was a few years before, but she was an only mother, you know. It was tough times. She found a man who was a good guy, and she was like, no, I'm going to hold on to this one.
Yeah, she wants that one.
That's cheeky, though. That's not okay. Helen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be okay with it.
Helen's a bad bitch. Helen the bad bitch is not pregnant at this point, but they are married. So John's like, you know what? Let's give this a go. This woman obviously loves me. John's a little bit cray if you ask me. But John
I thought she loved him.
yeah, but maybe a bit too much. And you can't lie to someone to lock them into a marriage. That's not a good start to a marriage, you know?
bit controlling.
It's just a tad, like to pretend you have a child, you're with child, and you're not with any child. That's
Silent problems.
literally. I think I might go for savoury actually, so I just picked that up, I changed my mind. I want these fish crisps. Oh, you see this? Oh, I feel like you're going to absolutely hate these.
I know I'm going.
Oh, it's from Lay's.
It doesn't make any difference. What do they smell like?
Actually smell divine. It smells like a salt and vinegar crisp.
How's that?
I dropped them everywhere.
Oh, you don't.
They are crimped. Ready?
It smells like a Baroque tablet.
Don't say that. Don't spit it out. Oh, it's fish. That is a fish.
Oh.
Oh, it's getting more fishy by the second. I really like them. I've had prawn crisps before though.
Have some of that peach one.
Yeah. Do you want to make this one? Oh, look at you trying to get your arm in the video. Oh,
No, I was trying to make sure my
oh,
face
hey,
is-
oh, you see my tattoo? Oh, hey. These are really good. Tastes like someone's put fish sauce on your salt and vinegar.
Right, it's a bit pungent now. It's getting stronger.
Anyway.
Yuck.
Oh, I'm totally lying. John did not meet Helen at
You've cocked up the story.
I have
now.
already cocked up the story. Why are we surprised? Another fishy crisp for me. They actually met at college.
Okay.
And he was also very religious in the Lutheran faith. 4 years later, they're married and they already have 3 children. 3 kids in 4 years.
She got 3 to John.
3 to John. So there are 3 kids. Patricia, so Pat. We've got Fred. And we've got Lil John. So Lil John is, you know, like John Jr., like John Sr. Very confusing. So I'm going to call him Little John from now on, just because it's just less confusing than John and John.
The little John.
The Little John. I'm going to stop eating these now. They actually make me feel a little bit sick.
Put it down.
Yeah.
Is that a spaghetti?
It looks like it. Oh, there's an egg on the front too. Egg and fish.
Yum.
It looks like seafood pretzel.
It's got it right there. Seaweed.
Doesn't say it.
It's a picture.
Oh yeah, there it is.
You don't like pictures, do you?
He's not looking forward to this one either.
Not too bad. It gets worse.
Oh, it's not bad. It has like a bit of a tang at the end, isn't it? A bit fishy tang. Interesting. So, you got Pat, Fred and Mini John, right?
Yep.
3 kids to Helen and John. They're plodding along as they do. John was a little bit of a strange man and he struggled with jobs. He would have a job, do really well, and then all of a sudden he'd get in a fight with a co-worker or a boss and be fired. So it happened quite a lot. And he felt very pressured. I'm gonna eat one of these. He felt really pressured to look after his family. Oh,
That
jelly.
sounds good.
Oh. Yeah, I'm very good. Helen liked the nicer things in life. Let's say that much. So not only did she take the mick by tricking this man into marriage, but she liked fancy stuff.
She's gone for a guy that can't hold a job, but she
Yeah.
likes fancy things.
She got the wrong John.
So John actually found a job and he managed to become the vice president of a bank.
What?
I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
Dude who can't hold a job, all of a sudden he's vice president of a bank.
He's obviously a very smart man, but his mouth gets him in trouble sometimes. He feels like that
who
kind of
does he
guy.
know? He knows somebody at the bank.
Yeah. She actually found a house, and you know when a house is real fancy, it has a name? This house was called Breeze Knoll.
I like that name.
It's quite smooth and it's quite slick. It was a 19-room mansion. It was huge.
Too big.
Oh, and massive. And it was like standalone, beautiful house. Just a stunner, but it was the most expensive house in the neighbourhood, in the most expensive neighbourhood. So it was literally the fanciest house possible. And John was like, holy crap, like this is mad. But he didn't want to have like a confrontational fight with his wife, so he told her yes.
Oh, he's a yes man.
He's a yes man. Oh, John.
What's gonna become of you?
I'll try one of these ones.
He's a weird guy.
John is a strange man.
So he's supposed to be super religious,
Supposed to be. He says he's...
but he got her pregnant before he married her.
Well, no, he didn't. Well, they did actually...
Oh, no,
well, obviously,
hang on,
they must have done stuff to Neely, so not that
Yeah.
religious, is he?
So he's done that.
Oh my gosh.
Fails to turn the
My
other
favourite
cheek.
thing so far.
Doesn't turn the other cheek.
Yep,
Can't hold a
married
job.
her.
Bad
Marries
work
the
ethic.
liar. They are amazing.
Tastes like Nutella.
Tastes like cereal. But like cereal covered in Nutella, yeah. They are so good.
Really tender.
Oh,
Right.
really tender.
Moist almost.
They are nearly wet, aren't they?
Mm.
You can't say moist on YouTube.
Like somebody spat on them.
Yum. You're right though, they're nearly wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say moist again.
Moist.
Rather than have a confrontation, John's like, yeah, sure. Let's get this 19-bedroom, not 19-bedroom, let's get this 19-roomed mansion. He was earning a little bit more money. He looked into this 19-room house and was like...
I can swing it.
So he decided...
Oh.
Nearly died on camera. Oh god, I'm so dramatic. He decides he's going to get this real expensive house for his wife. And who does he go to for money?
The bank.
No, that makes so much more sense. No, he went to his mum.
The VP of the bank.
No, forget the VP of the bank. He was busy that day because he went to Mama. So off he trots to his mum.
Hi Mum, remember that woman that you don't like that lied about being pregnant? We need a house, and we need the best house. So can you give me some money?
She loans him the money for this 19-room mansion. And they move in. So they're in Breeze Knoll. They're settling in nicely. Everything seems okay from the outside in. A little bit of background on John, just so you know what he's like. So he's a little bit of a strange guy. His dad had passed away when he was younger. His mum's name was Alma. She was a strict woman, stern German religious woman.
Yeah, that's Alma.
Yeah, but she's a good mum, you know. She's helping her son get his massive mansion. I mean, next one is like a chocolate ball. Oh my. I've got a gummy inside it.
Grape.
Very strong grape. Like fake grape.
I don't know, fish and chocolate don't really go together.
It's really gummy.
Not in jelly form anyway.
And really hard.
Bit weird.
John was an only child,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think is another reason maybe the mum helped him.
No.
She wants to treat her son, you know. She wants to look after him and help out with the family. She had to sell her own home.
I was going to say where she got the money from.
She sold her own home, but the house was so huge. There was a condo on the 3rd floor of this mansion, so all like a contained apartment on the 3rd floor. So she said, I will give you the money if I can live on the 3rd floor of this house. And he was like, sweet, I get 2 floors of a mansion. Of course you can have the 3rd. Yeah. Grandma was on level 3. So she was living inside the house, which is actually quite nice because at least like her son's there to help her. So she moves in and everything's okay for about 6 years. So 6 years goes past. You still got the kids living at home, mum and dad and Alma upstairs. Everything's sweet until John gets fired from his job.
Could have seen that coming.
I know. Who thought? The reason he got fired was
A clash of personalities.
what does any rational man do?
Rob a bank. He robbed that bank, didn't he?
No, but that would have been a better idea than what he did. He didn't tell his family. He just didn't tell them. He would get dressed in the morning with his suit. He'd get his briefcase. He'd get on the damn train. He said he used to go about 2-3 stops, get off, mull around for a few hours and then get the train home. And then his wife would meet him at the station, like everything was fine. He said he was just too embarrassed. He said, I can't do it. And he was looking for another job in the meantime,
I
but
can understand that.
it's sad, but at the same time, I'm sure the wife would have helped him if he could just be honest, you know? The pressure that man must have been feeling
Well,
would
you
be
should have just
immense.
said it, yeah, but I get him being embarrassed.
Yeah, he actually managed to get a new job. But obviously, it wasn't the wage that he had at the bank because he wasn't the vice president of a bank anymore. So it was a lower wage, so he was still struggling to pay that rent. He started stealing money from his mum because like he hadn't done enough, like thieving from her. So he started
stealing money from her.
skimming money out of her bank account. Yeah,
That's low.
so low.
Bad life choices, John.
John's not the best husband. Like he needs to have a little chat with his wife. And
Oh no, I thought that was with the seaweed.
no, this is a cake flavour.
Ugh.
This is like a pocky, but nothing on it. Just tastes a bit like cake batter.
I like that.
They're really good. Tastes like custard. It's Rob and his mum, who's in a house he can't afford. He's got a crap job, let's be honest. And in 1971, he had to file for bankruptcy. Problem is, in the Lutheran faith, it is a sin to be in poverty, which I didn't know. That's really harsh. Like, sometimes you can't help a situation you're in, but that's what he believed. He believed in his faith. If you were in poverty, you were living in sin. Can I have another one? Helen and John, their relationship is strained at this point, really strained. John is not happy with his family either. So his children, the 3 kids, are now teenagers. And he said they were in the sinful culture of 1970s America. So things like the music they were listening to, he wasn't happy about. The daughters were wearing leather jackets, he didn't like that. And one of them was rumoured to have smoked marijuana.
The marriage to one.
John couldn't deal. John was having a small stroke over this, so not only could he not pay the bills, but he saw his kids basically turning into a life of sin, in what he thought was sin anyway. Man, if he'd known me at like 16, he would have...
Cracked his panties.
Helen was a quiet little love. She was actually having health problems and she did not tell John about it for a long time. She started having blackouts and she kept falling over and then just sort of waking up on the floor, and we were like, what's been going on here? So also she was going blind in one eye and she didn't tell John at this point. Just left that, like, what can you do? She was like, John's got his own problems, who cares if I'm blind in one eye? She started turning to drink and over-the-counter tranquilizers because she was just struggling with her life. She was like, I'm blacking out all the time, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, why should you need tranquilizers if she's blacking out?
You're already too relaxed, Helen. Yeah, calm it, arm it. She was drinking a lot just to try and forget her problems, which anyone can understand. Poor Helen, you know? And she knows the bills aren't really being paid on time. She knows that John is struggling. She actually found out, she went to the doctors after all these years of problems. They said she actually had syphilis, which she had contracted from her first husband before he passed away at the war. Syphilis really affects your mind and it actually slowly makes you lose it. Very contagious. And yeah, Helen wasn't doing too well, poor love. And she'd left it for so many years, it was getting worse and worse and worse. So she was starting to really struggle. So she actually had to tell John about this in the end, and he tried to help her with this, but it was really difficult. He actually nearly put her into sort of like an institution to help with women with syphilis, which actually was quite common back in the day. It's got a little turtle on it. You had these when you were a kid?
A chip like that.
Oh, that does not look like a turtle. I could not be more upset.
I can't remember what the chip was called, but we had one like that.
Does it look like this?
Kind of.
Cheers. It smells like peanuts.
This peanut. Oh, I thought it was. It said onion on the sign.
Yeah.
He's holding. Is that peanut?
I thought it was a potato. Okay, it's actually not that bad. I've already come round to it. It's very drying, like peanut butter. That is not moist. Kind of like
yeah, but
it
the
though.
texture of the chip is nice.
He didn't want to depend on charity or handouts because, again, he didn't believe in that. And if he'd gone to his church to ask for help, remember it was a sin to be in poverty, so he couldn't ask for help. He felt a little bit trapped. November the 9th, which is weirdly your birthday, rolls around in 1971. And it's a normal morning. It's a school day, so it's the middle of the week. The children have gone to school. Helen's in the kitchen making some coffee. John comes down the stairs. She makes him a coffee, having a little chat. John goes up to behind Helen and shoots her in the head with a 9mm automatic pistol. Dead in one shot. Helen's down. You're like,
Psycho.
psycho. He puts Helen's body on a sleeping bag and he drags her into the ballroom, which is like a really big fancy room they have in their house.
Yeah.
And he puts her beneath a stained glass window which is in the ceiling. And it's a beautiful stained glass window, and he lies his dead wife underneath this window on this sleeping bag and just leaves her there. He goes upstairs to his mum's apartment on the 3rd floor. His mum's making breakfast, good old Alma. They're having a chat, and she said, I just heard the weirdest sound from downstairs. What was it? And he went, that's actually what I came up here to talk to you about. I don't know, like, I don't know what it was either. Like, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what it was. Sounded like it was downstairs. He shrugged it off, turned around, and then shot his mother in the head as well.
Oh.
Alma's down. He decided that Alma was too heavy to get down the stairs. He wanted to drag her down there to put her in the ballroom next to his wife. She said, nah, she's too heavy. So he just laid her down on the floor, threw a towel over her face, and left. He went down to the kitchen, and he decided to try and clean up some of the blood from Helen, because it was everywhere. And he actually said it was a surprising amount of blood. What weirdo to like think that. It's quite a rational thought for such an irrational action. To think, oh, it's a surprising amount of blood. Like it's quite a casual thing, like when you spill the milk and you're like, oh, there's a lot of milk in there. Looks like there was less in the carton. He sat down at the table, his wife's body just in the next room dead. And he started writing notes to everyone who he thought may be suspicious in the family if anyone disappeared. He wrote a note to the kids' teachers. He wrote a note to his boss. He wrote a note to everyone. In the note he said that they were going to California to look after a sick relative. So they're all good, just going for a little trip to look after someone we know. He went to the post office and he posted all these letters. He also stopped the mail. Cancelled any mail being sent to his house. He went to the bank and he stole even more of his mother's money. He took out $2,000. And this is in the 1970s, so $2,000 is a lot. $2,000 is a lot of money. He stole it out of her savings account. Was like, well, she's not going to be needing that. Poor Alma. Dead in her freaking apartment on the 3rd floor. He went back to the house. He made a sandwich in the house where the 2 dead bodies are. And he was waiting for his kids to come home from school. Patricia, one of the children, was feeling ill at school. So they called home and said, can you come pick her up? So John was like, yeah, sure. So he went to the school, picked up Patricia, brought her home, and then shot her in the jaw.
Oh.
From behind. Patricia's down. Puts her in a sleeping bag, drags her into the ballroom next to her mum, looking up at the stained glass window. Then Fred came home, the next oldest child, shot in the back of the head. Down he goes, dragged into the ballroom underneath the stained glass window with the other two. Tiny John, baby John, his youngest child. This is the weirdest bit. He actually had a football match that night. And Big John went to watch him play. So he went to the football match, watched his son play his football game, got in the car, went home, and then they went into the kitchen and he shot him. And he went down, but he didn't actually die. So little Johnny was struggling on somehow. So John took his gun out and shot him 9 more times in the face. Excessive. John, unnecessary. We dragged little John into the ballroom underneath the stained glass window with the rest of his family. Grandma's still upstairs. Then he said a prayer. Because he's a religious man. Why wouldn't you, you know? Time to say a little prayer for you, I don't know what. He basically thought he was saving them from everything. He said that they can be in heaven now. They're together. They've got the best life possible. Then he sat down and had a little bit of dinner in the dining room next to the ballroom where all his family had
Did it
dinner.
say what you had for dinner?
No, weirdly no. I only knew about the sandwich for before.
I feel like there was like steak and mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Asparagus.
A little bit of asparagus gravy.
Yeah, he's had a long day, John.
He obviously has. He then, really weirdly, did the washing up and set the stuff on the drainer. Why? If you've just murdered your family, that bit really confused me and I didn't understand that at all. Oh, we've not tried these. Ooh!
Oh yeah, those, that look interesting.
Oh, this one looks like a hard candy and I think it's grape flavour. Oh my gosh. It's a little hard candy. It bounces, guys. Oh my god. It's really good. He does the washing up. And then what does he do after that? Have a guess.
Went to sleep?
I
thought so.
Up to bed. And he said it's the best sleep he's had in years. Said he finally felt good.
Yeah, dead quiet in the house now, John.
So quiet. In the morning, he turns on the aircon and puts it on like the coldest setting. Just to make sure that decomposition doesn't set in too fast, because you know.
Oh yeah, the aircon's going to make a difference, John.
That's the problem.
Well done.
He then turns on all the lights in the house and he puts on his favourite classical music. Really, really loud.
Yeah, he's demented. He's twisted.
He was trying to trick intruders to think there were people in the house so no one would rob them.
Oh, there's music coming out of there. They're alright in there.
No, they'll be fine. They're obviously loving a bit of classical music. He wrote a 5-page confession to his pastor at the church because he felt that's the only man he really needed to explain this to.
Didn't need 5 pages, John. Excessive, again. You could have just said, I did it.
Imagine, I did it. He's got so much time on his hands. He went around the house, took all the photos out of the photo frames and cut his face out of them all. Walked out the house, he locked the door and he left. He drove to JFK Airport, parked his car and then took a bus to the city. So he didn't get on a plane. This man's clever.
Why? No, he's not. No, he's not.
Why do you think he did it?
Why did you cut the photos out of his face out of the photos?
What
do you think? Oh, they'll never know it was me if I cut my face out.
No, I think if you get rid of the photos, then how are the police going to know who you're looking for? Back in the 70s, you didn't have social media. So he parked his car at the airport and got a bus to the town. I think this was a deflection from where he was going. So he thought, if I'm being followed, if the cops try and find me, they'll see my car at the airport and think, he's on a flight, he's out of here. When actually, he was on a bus down the road, you know? He's trying to confuse people. He's obviously been thinking about this for a little bit too long, if you ask me. And from there, he got a train to Denver, Colorado. He applied for a social security card here, and he used a fake name, which was Robert Peter Clark. And he got a job.
He's chosen all first names.
I know. It's like it's 3 people in one. Well, this man could have multiple personalities, I don't know. Maybe he feels like he's Robert, Peter, and Clark. He got his new job, and he was a short order cook. And he just started his new life.
How long did he hold that job for? A week?
Breeze Knoll, the house, it's just frozen in time. There it sits. All the dead bodies in there.
How long before they discovered the body?
Weeks went past. The lights in each room started to blow. Because obviously they'd been on constantly. Until one light was left on, upstairs on the stairwell. They were a very quiet family. They didn't talk to their neighbours. So this wasn't suspicious for the neighbours. The classical music was still playing over the speakers. Ambiance, that didn't stop, that was going strong. It was nearly a month later, Patricia, her drama teacher, said he had a bad feeling. He was like, something's going on here. He basically had talked to Patricia a few weeks before she'd disappeared, and she said she was worried about her dad. And then she weirdly said, I feel like my dad's capable of killing my family. He convinced another teacher to go to the house with him because he was like, I'm really worried about Patricia and her family. Just a freaking month later. 1 whole month. But then if you had sent notes to everyone, you would respect their privacy. They went round, they were peeking through the windows. Luckily, the neighbours thought someone was trying to rob the house. So they called the cops on these 2 teachers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh my god, the house might be being robbed. This is a bit weird. That one light's on and the music's been playing. Maybe we should finally call the police. Police came, they knocked on the windows and doors, nothing. So the window was unlocked and the police officer walked in. And he said it was entirely dark. This police officer is scarred for life as well, by the way. He said it was completely dark apart from the shadows that fell because of the one light that was on the landing. He then said funeral music was ringing throughout the house. That's what he thought in his head. Before he knew something had happened, he said it sounded like funeral music in the house. Slowly moved through the house with his torch and he came across a pair of curtains and it was in the ballroom. Parted the curtains and he was hit by the smell.
Yeah, of course.
Of decomposing bodies.
Yeah.
He didn't think he was actually going to find that. He just thought something weird was going on. They skipped town and not paid their bills. He found them all laid out in the ballroom. He looked at them and then he looked up at the stained glass window and was like, what the hell is going on here? They searched the rest of the house and they found the confession note, which was for the pastor, but they were reading it. And in it were instructions to where his mother's body was. So up they went to the third floor. Got upstairs, mate, yeah. There she was. A nationwide search started after this, obviously, for John. Because there was a confession note. There was not a doubt in anyone's mind that this man had done it. They asked people in the neighbourhood what he was like. Oh, he was a weirdo. He couldn't hold down a job, you know. All these things.
Cut his own face out of the photos.
Literally. Didn't like pictures of himself. They found the car at the airport. They went mad trying to find a flight this man was on. And there was no record of it. So they all thought he had a fake ID and he was this magic man who disappeared on a flight. He'd gone on the bloody bus. He had no idea where he was. Like, there was no proof. It was in the 1970s. There was no forensic evidence. There's nothing. Only thing they had was fingerprinting, which they took the fingerprints of, and then all they could do was sort of wait to find a fingerprint that matched him if they found a suspect, you know, just check fingerprints from there. I'm going back to these. The police followed leads, tips, sightings, but they never found John. They were following round in circles and just didn't find anything. So the police kept doing interviews in the press to try and keep up media. In the 70s it was important to be in the newspapers, on the news, because that's all you really had back then. You didn't have social media like now.
Internet.
Exactly. And on any sort of anniversary they would bring the case up again to try and refresh people's memories. Where were you on the day? Were you near the airport? Did you see this car? All this sort of stuff. On the first year they did it. Turned to 3 years and they did it. 5 years and they did it. 10-year anniversary, they did it again. Nothing turned up. 18 years go past. They tried to put the case on America's Most Wanted, which is like a TV show, like Crime Watch in the UK. They talk about cases and they try and find information for it. They wouldn't take the case because they said it was too old and too cold. So they're saying the case is too old now. Forget it.
Yeah, too old.
One of the presenters on the programme is called John Welsh.
Walsh.
Oh, is that his name? Do you know him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! What's his name? Welsh.
Walsh.
Oh, Walsh. Sorry. Wow, I didn't actually know him. Is he a nice guy?
I don't know him personally.
Thought he was going to come around for a bit of dinner.
You know his stories, don't you?
Yeah, his son died. 6-year-old, yeah.
His son died.
Yeah, his son passed away and that's how he got into true crime.
He didn't pass away.
He was murdered.
He was murdered, yeah.
Poor John Welsh?
Walsh. Yeah.
Walsh.
You say Walsh, I say Walsh.
Walsh.
The accent.
Welsh. Anyway, so John Welsh heard of the case. And like you said, he had lost his son in a horrible way and he wanted to help other people. That's why he went on to America's Most Wanted. He wanted to put away criminals. He wanted to do the best he could for America and the world, let's be honest, because you're getting rid of murderers. He had really strong feelings about this case. He hated John. He heard the story, he heard what he'd done to his family, and he just despised this man. He was like, nah. He's like,
anyone. Yeah, everyone.
Everyone would, exactly. Especially John Welsh.
Welsh.
So he was determined to catch this man. He was like, I can't be in a world where this man's just walking free after killing his children, his wife, his mother, everyone, and he's just wandered off and started a new life.
He wasn't happy then.
You know a man whose name was Frank Bender. Frank would make reconstructions of people in sculptures. So you would have a physical thing to look at and you'd be more likely to say, oh, I saw that guy crossing the road on the day they died. So
like a sketch artist, but
physical.
a sculptor.
Yeah, it was amazing. So he sculpted what he thought John would look like, and age progression 18 years after the fact. So he used facial reconstruction measurements just to make sure everything was perfectly where John's face would have been. I don't know how it works, but it's amazing. He also used psychological profiling on John to work out what he would look like. So depending on his lifestyle, how you look different. So say if you smoke and you drink, you'd have more wrinkles. If you have a healthier lifestyle, you'd look better. So he used all these things, thinking of the 18 years, to make a sculpture that would look like John, who would now be 60 years old. He even added a pair of glasses to the sculpture that he thought John would have bought because it was from a thrift shop. And he knew John liked sort of vintagey, different things. Found this little pair of brown glasses and he popped them on his sculpture, and he was like, yeah, that's what I think John would look like now. Because he just learnt this guy in and out. And he also knew he was quite conservative, so he sort of kept it quite simplistic with the darker colour of the glasses and didn't do anything fancy to his hair. He knew he wasn't getting, like, I was going to say a hair job, that sounds really wrong. The programme aired on America's Most Wanted. So was his name John Walsh?
Yeah.
He managed to get the show through. It was May the 21st of 1989. 22 million people watched the episode, so this was like the programme to go to if you wanted facts to get to the public. Woman was watching the programme and she looked at the sculpture that Frank had made and she was like,
Oh, that really looks like Bob Clark, who used to be our neighbour. Say what?
and everything they said about the man, they said he was softly spoken, he was an accountant, he always dressed in a suit. And she was like, man, that's just like Bob, we should call in just in case. So in she calls, Wanda calls in and says, just to let you know, I think that guy might have lived next door to me. 11 days after the programme aired, they went to the home where Bob Clark lived, which was in Richmond, Virginia. So he was miles away from New Jersey. He'd moved house again in the meantime, but they found the new house that Bob Clark was under. They knock on the door, the woman opens the door, and her name is Dolores. And they're like, oh, hey, is Bob here? And she's like, oh, he's at work. Why do you want to see him? And they're like, oh, no reason, we're just here to talk. She's like, sweet, this is his address for his job. So that was nice and easy. The agents went to his office, where this man, Bob Clark, worked as an accountant. They walked in, and they saw the man that was basically the sculpture. They were like in shock at how much it looked like him. I'm going to insert a picture for you now of the real Bob and the fake Bob sculpture. They asked if he was Bob Clark. He said yes. And then they said, are you John List though? Because that was John's name, John List. And he was like, who? And they were like, yeah, give us your fingers. So they took fingerprints of John. Guess what it matched?
It was him.
It was the prints from the gun that was left in the house.
Oh, you muppet.
He was arrested with 5 counts of first-degree murder. Finally, 18 years after, the trial begins. The courts tried to say they basically diagnosed him with OCD. They tried to make it second-degree murder because he had OCD.
No, mate.
I was like, OCD doesn't make you a murderer.
You get the first degree murder and you're going to hell.
It was 9 hours of deliberation, and the court found him guilty of all the murders on first degree. So, goodbye, John. When he got his sentencing, the court cheered. And they were just like,
Yeah, of course.
So everyone says it was all down to this John Walsh guy as to why he got caught. Because without it being on that programme, Wanda wouldn't have seen, no one would have called in, and he never would have been caught. He would have just been on the prowl.
Well, you know what they should have done? They should have been to sentencing murder.
I love sentencing murder.
See, look, I said, what, he told you all of that for free?
Love it! Sentencing murder is the best programme I've ever watched. It's when psychic people try and solve murders.
My bad.
John Walsh was so proud of this case and finding him, he kept the sculpture in his office. About 2 months after the house was emptied and the bodies had been taken out, someone actually set fire to the house. Now, they don't know who did this, but there was an arson attack, and they obviously they put the fire out. So basically, they get an inspector to check the house over after a fire, checking if it's stable. But when they were in there, they were looking at this stained glass window. And they were like, man, that is beautiful.
That survived the fire.
That survived the fire. It turns out that window was a Tiffany's glass window, and it was worth $100,000. If John had just sold that, his family would have been fine.
John!
The answer was literally above his head
Why
the
don't you
whole
just sell
time.
the house?
If he'd sold the house, he would have been fine. The window was signed by the man who owns Tiffany. I don't know his name. Mr. Tiffany? I don't know.
But who was the real estate agent that sold the house to him? You think he would have mentioned that? Oh,
No
by
one
the way,
knew.
This glass here?
Worth millions. So if he'd known about that window, he might not have murdered his entire family because they wouldn't have had any money problems. He was in prison. He basically stood by his decisions. He said, no, I put them in heaven. that was the best place for them. John actually did pass away in prison in 2008 from pneumonia, but he was 82. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
What was your favourite thing?
I love that thing.
The
grapefruit. Yeah.
Mine was these, and I've now nearly finished them. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a good Halloween. I hope you're safe and well. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!